The topic I will be explaining today is about the history of volleyball, to inform the audience about one of the most popular sports in the world. From William G. Morgan, who invented volleyball in 1995, which is now one of the most popular sports in the world. Volleyball is experiencing a surge in popularity in the U.S., particularly among the youth and the women. The sport is growing in participation, viewership, and professional league interest. And in 2023, approximately 7 million people participated in volleyball in the U.S. Volleyball was invented in 1895 by William G. Morgan, who was the physical director of the Youth Men Christian Association. He initially named the game Mintonti. The reason to listen is because volleyball is such a fun and interesting sport to watch. I feel that others who are not interested in the sport should know the knowledge of volleyball because it's such an interesting sport. In 1895, volleyball has gained significant global popularity, becoming one of the most widely played sports worldwide. A statement I wanted to point out is that I have loved and played the sport of volleyball for about 7 years, and I have done other papers and studied the sport multiple times. First, I will discuss the history of volleyball. Second, I will discuss how volleyball works and the rules. Finally, I will discuss the happiness and burnout of volleyball. Volleyball gained significant popularity in the 20th century. Volleyball is the second most played sport for women in the U.S., with 21 of the states being the most popular sport in the state, with over 500,000 participants. Morgan, the inventor of volleyball, influenced by James Naismith in basketball, sought to create a sport that was subtle for older YMCA members who found basketball physically demands to strengthen. Volleyball was originally called Mintonti because it drew inspiration from sports like tennis, badminton, and handball. After a demonstration game, spectators commented that the players appeared to be volleying the ball back and forth, leading the name to change to volleyball. Morgan combined elements of basketball, baseball, tennis, and handball to create the new sport. He uses a tennis net raised to 6 feet 6 inches, which is just above the head of an average height male. The first game of volleyball was played at Springfield College on July 7, 1896. Travel volleyball as a formalized competitive format gained significant traction in the mid to late 1990s. Travel/club volleyball is basically volleyball that goes longer than the actual school season. It's different from your school ball because you have to try out to make a team, and you have to spend up to $800 to $2,000 depending on which team you make. Lots of people play travel ball to keep consistency and to get more reps in. So by school ball, they have lots of potential. Volleyball was introduced into school and college physical education programs in 1916. Volleyball gained popularity to spread to other YMCA locations and then to schools and volleyball and colleges. Partnership resulted in the official publication of volleyball rules and contributed to the sport's growth among youth students. So volleyball reached the sports centers before it reached any other collegiate and school levels. People would go to sports centers and play for fun, then volleyball just turned into a serious level of competition. Now that I have discussed the history of volleyball, I will discuss the rules of volleyball. There are so many different little techniques of volleyball. First, I will explain how volleyball is set up. 2 teams of 6 have to be on the court, 6 on each side. The net has to be between 65 and 67 inches. And when set up, it has to be at 7 feet 11 inches. It needs to be 260 pounds. If not, you could get in really big trouble, and this could be called cheating if the ref signed out. If you are 12 years or older, the ball needs to be size 5. From one side court to the other, it is 59 feet and 18 inches. In volleyball, you have to hit the ball a certain way. You can roll it, tip it, or full-on swing, but you cannot hold it or lift it. This would be called a carry. In high school, you cannot set the ball with 2 different hands. If you set the ball and it spins weirdly, the point will get handed to the other team. This is called a double. Before you serve the ball, you have to wait for the ref to do a hand movement, and you have to wait for him to blow his whistle. Also, while serving, you have to be in front of the serving line. If you go past it, the point will be given to the other team. If you are a libero, you cannot overhand swing the ball in front of the 10-foot line, and you also can't set the ball in front of the 10-foot line. How the game works. In volleyball, there will be 2 teams of 6 on each side of the net. The ball will go back and forth until someone scores. A standard game goes to 3 sets for 25 points each, unless one team earns one match and the other earns the other match. This means the third set will go to 15 points for a tiebreaker. There's lots of ways you can score a point. If you hit it, if you bump it, or if you set it, those could score. But you could also do some tricky shot moves that are legal to win the point. There are also lots of ways that you could lose a point. Like if you hit the antenna outside of the antenna or out of the court, this could be an error. Now that we know the rules of volleyball, we can talk about the burnout of it. Burnout is when you work or play too much of the sport so you get tired of it. How to get burnt out of volleyball. From personal experience, volleyball can be really hard on your body when you work too much on it. Putting too many hours into volleyball could lead to burnout. This will make you feel drained and exhausted. Intense pressure could have negative feelings towards the sport. Lastly, if you are surrounded by the wrong teammates and coaches, this could lead you not to love your sport anymore and actually want to stop playing. How to make your sport come back is if you're struggling with people, you could either move teams or try to connect or talk to the people through it around you. Lots of people don't like to take breaks from their sports, but if you just take some time and rest, this will actually help. If volleyball is hard on your body, you could do ice baths or massaging and stretching. Showing up is good, but your mental health is even better. Today, I first described how volleyball became a sport and the background of it. Second, I explained how volleyball works and the rules. Finally, I gave some statements about how burnout works and how to overcome it. From William G. Morgan, who invented volleyball in 1895, which is now one of the most popular sports in the world. Now that you know a lot about volleyball, I hope you're interested in it and know a little bit more about it.